I know this isn't housing content, but I needed to respond to this transphobic arcade owner in my town that decided to try to call me out on his YouTube. So he posted on his Facebook page for his arcade these 3 buttons, and they're cringy at best, but maybe hateful. So people called him out. They said, hey, these are co-opting attacks that people face all the time, and you're trying to make edgy humor about it. And that's all they wanted to say to him. And instead of listening to the criticism, they decided to double down on their Facebook page and talk about, well, we're just trying to be edgy. Like, this is the kind of stuff you would find at a Spencer store in the 90s. We're not in the 90s anymore. But rather than listening to people, they decided to delete all the criticism and then pay to boost this post because they think it's funny. Community didn't respond well. Posted on Facebook and on Reddit, and eventually the local media got involved to bring up this whole issue that they had started. The thing is, this isn't the first time that we've seen red flags from him. He posted this job hiring ad for his arcade where he said, what you're being paid to do should take priority over expressing yourself, which is like weird to say in the first place, but then you also need to be able to take a joke. Or if you're one of the younger people that apply, you need to be humble enough to know that your diploma from the local high school or a couple of classes you've taken at the local college doesn't teach you everything you need to know about life. Like, why is this in a job hiring poster? This is toxic as fuck. Yeah, the community called him out on this one too. And for the credit, they took it down for a while, but then they put it back up later. After making a ton of terrible responses on their Facebook page, it spread to Reddit and all the Facebook groups in town, to Nextdoor. People were talking about it. Before they started deleting all criticism and all their own responses, a lot of what they were saying was putting up a lot of red flags. And so people really wanted to know, is this just extreme ignorance or is this real hate? So they started digging into the owners and Googling and figuring out more about them. Anyways, people started Googling his name and they found this like homeschool resource blog that he put up of just resources he puts out for his ideas. It's incredibly transphobic, but it's apparently part of his culture. He's posting this stuff public. There's this video on his blog where he's teaching his daughter that trans and non-binary identities are invalid using a Berenstain Bears book. Whoa. This dude just loves attention. In 1998, he went on the Jenny Jones show of all things.
He's got a whole new look. His name is also Shawn. Come on out, Shawn. Guy never gave you a chance. Harassed you, threw things at you. And Shawn, show him what you can do. This is Shawn Lov.
What's up, Chicago? Y'all ready to hear me rap? Yo, it's 98. It's time to set it straight. You know what I'm saying? I keep it moving. Check it out, y'all.
Shawn's entire method for handling all of this community feedback about his cringy buttons and the escalation of it just because he keeps doubling down and making it worse, and the fact that the media got involved and that people have Googled him to find out all this stuff that shows that he's a transphobe. Rather than dealing with it like a normal human, he decided to post this like public blast on me. And I think he's doing that because I run a bunch of Alameda Facebook groups and I moderate the Alameda Reddit and I have a big TikTok following. So he thinks I can give him a platform to publicly show what he is. Maybe he can get some more transphobes to come to his arcade. I don't know what his entire thought process is for doing this, but this post, pinning it on me, even fat shaming me, just putting it out there, he's hoping that I respond in a way that gives him the attention that he wants. I'm not here to do that. Instead, I'm going to show the kind of man he is to everyone, using his own words. First off, this YouTube video. I love the false dichotomy that we all need to be trans activists or leave town. No one's asking you to be a trans activist. Just don't be an asshole. That's all anyone cares about. His video here, he decided to go through and delete all of the negative comments, just like he did on his company page. He can't stand criticism, so here's some criticism, Shawn. I'm gonna regret this, but let's watch some of this video.
Peace. Hey, this is a message for Zach. Zach, I hate to be doing this publicly. It puts a stain on my YouTube channel, you know, to have to address somebody like this.
This puts a stain on your YouTube channel, and not like that video you posted 8 months ago about how everyone calls you a transphobe. Or, never mind, I digress.
But over the last couple of days since the news called me, it's come to my attention you've basically been stalking, all of the websites and all the different things that I work on, because you're so pissed off.
I would love to take credit for all that, but no, the community did all that because honestly, they were confused. They wanted to understand why you were so stubborn and didn't want to listen to community feedback. And they wanted to know, is this ignorance and just stubbornness or genuine hate? So they just Googled you, man. Post this stuff publicly all over your YouTube and on your blog. Like, it's out there for everyone to see. And they found it, and they posted it on Reddit, and they posted it on Facebook, and I saw it just like everybody else. So thank you for thinking I found this, but not me.
About some abstract, benign pin that we sell at the arcade, right?
I love how he minimizes this because this has nothing really to do with these cringy pins anymore. If it was just these cringy pins and it wasn't like the toxic poster that he posted from before and the red flags in his responses to the criticism that he was receiving, then it wouldn't have gotten to this point. If he just heard the community feedback to say, hey, these seem to be mocking a marginalized group in our community from people in that group, and just said, oh, sorry, we made a mistake, cool. That would have been it. But you ratcheted this up by deleting comments, blocking people, posting on other groups. Come on, man. You push this thing. It's not about these abstract buttons.
So that leads you to what? My homeschooling site, intended for a small group of people in our culture, right? And see, this really sets you on fire. I teach my daughter, my 3-year-old daughter at the time, 2.5, 3, the difference between he and she from a Berenstain Bears book that's currently still available on Amazon, right? Why don't you go fuck with them? I really want...
Okay, back up. So the Berenstain Bears book only said that bears have a mommy and a daddy. You took it to another level by affirmatively teaching that your daughter that it would be weird for there to be anything different. And honestly, I don't care. All of this is distraction. It's a red herring because none of this matters. The only reason why that video was even brought up and posted was to show that there is a pattern to your behavior, that you have a vendetta, that's what you are posting when you make these buttons. No one has the right to tell you what to teach your daughter. But you go off on this so far into this video, just going off on this rant about how we're different cultures and you can teach your daughter whatever you want. No one cares, man. Teach your daughter whatever you want. It doesn't matter. What matters is the way you treat other people.
I really want you to stop wasting your time, and I want to try to explain something to you as quickly as I can so you can understand it, right? We come from 2 different places, right? I've heard of your story, and this, I'm not fucking impressed with anything, right? I'm not impressed with what you do. I'm not impressed with how you do it.
Okay, he's heard my story. I'm sure he knows everything about me, knows my entire history, read probably my resume. Yep.
We live in a world where many people are going about saying things like, well, I'm a chubby cheek squirrel. When chubby cheek squirrel goes to the bathroom, wait till chubby cheek squirrel comes back, so chubby cheek squirrel can get chubby cheek squirrel's drink. They make ridiculous shit up with pronouns. And
with pronouns, this is like Apache Tech helicopter. It's like this transphobic language. He just can't get it out of his head. Like, chubby cheek squirrel is a pronoun in his head. Wow, that is so bigoted.
Nobody says boo, right? There's examples of this everywhere. Why aren't you fucking with them?
Because there's no need to. They just are people trying to exist, man. Just let them exist. Like, you have to talk about this and it's an issue for you. Let people just be called whatever they want to be called. Like, why? Why are you making this an issue?
Right? Why are you choosing to screw around with the small family business in Alameda that's never heard a goddamn fly since we've been there?
You know what? I helped his business out. We actually posted up their GoFundMe during the pandemic to help them out when they were hurting. I want them to succeed. I just don't want them to post problematic content that hurts people in our community. That's it, dude.
Another problem I think you're having is that you are disregarding the fact that we can be 2 different types of people, right? In one hand, right, we can have our own cultural foundation rooted in man, woman, and child, sun, moon, and star, he, she, and we can teach that to our daughter, and we can make the decision, especially a 20-year veteran educator like myself.
He's just getting off on this red herring. You can teach your daughter whatever you want. I already talked about this, but he thinks that this is a culture war. No one cares, dude. They care the way that you treat other people. And when you put out buttons that mock other people's identities, and then you say, it's just my culture, that's ridiculous. There's this thing called paradox of tolerance. That if you have unlimited tolerance, including tolerance of intolerance, it ultimately leads to more intolerance. That's what he's advocating for. So unfortunately, I don't have enough time in this TikTok to play his entire video and respond to it all because it's just too long. But for the most part, it's just fat shaming, posting my photo, telling me I'm harassing him, claiming that I called the media on him and that I should just go after these woke people that he thinks that are really the problem.